Intelligent, insightful, smart. These are words other podcasts use to describe themselves, not us. This is Fairly Harmless, where missing the point is only the beginning. With musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Please enjoy Andrew and James.
Welcome to Fairly Harmless. I'm Andrew.
I'm James.
I'm Woody.
I'm Odessa.
And Fast Eddie's in the corner. Well, welcome everyone. We finally wrangled Odessa in for the Fairly Harmless episode and podcast. It's taken a while.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. This is a red letter day for us because many people didn't believe that Odessa was real.
That you could be married.
That's right. That I could be married.
Right.
That it was all a farce.
Let's be clear. You two are married.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Happily.
There's a paper to document it and everything.
Paper doesn't make it happily.
That's right.
This is our first recording after our anniversary episode where Andrew's family, Gretchen, and Billy visited us. That episode is now out on the internet. Solar Eclipse of My Heart, which was...
Would you like to hear the email I got from Billy?
Oh, I'd love to hear the
Yeah, please share it. Please share it.
Just listen to the recent FH podcast. Hilarious? Question mark. The poison Dad used for termites was called chlordane. I remember we mixed a richer concentration than the bottle recommended. Wikipedia says about health effects. The non-cancer health effects of chlordane compounds, which include diabetes, insulin resistance, migraines, respiratory infections, immune system activation, anxiety, depression, blurry vision, confusion, intractable seizures, as well as permanent neurological damage.
But no death.
Probably affects more people than cancer.
The exposure shows. There's no doubt about that.
I think that's what he's saying. I think, you know.
Right on the nose there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, your brother is not wrong.
yeah.
So I didn't know that your brother was a Egyptian pyramid grave robber. I didn't know that about him.
Well,
He's-
I mean,
he is.
He is.
He's not above many things. He's an adventurer.
Billy is the scientist, just to, seal
Right.
the deal, because we didn't really point that out on the last episode.
It's
Gretchen emailed me about something about your name, Woody. Where is this down here? There it is. Modern Woodmen Fraternal Life Insurance. It's a life insurance company.
After you kill James, are you going to kill me next, Andrew? Is that like why you're telling me to get life insurance?
Yes. Gretchen repaired the smothering pillow for me. It's near you, isn't it?
No, it's
Ed's
safely
playing
in
with it.
Fast Eddie's hands.
Yes. Hold on to that. That's not for sleeping, or it's for
Murdering.
cuddle.
Soft cuddles and murder.
murdering through
You're going to
cuddles.
need a bigger pillow.
For murdering or cuddling?
Both.
That's the biggest one they had.
You're going to need a bigger pillow.
It's going to have to be more substantial.
I think there's some technique involved that can kind of counteract the size inadequacy. What do you think?
Technique?
That could get messy.
What your mom said.
Is this table shaking?
Probably. I mean, the AC unit's on.
Holy shit. It's like it's having a seizure.
Are
I've got-
you having a seizure, Odessa?
Perhaps you're having a seizure.
I mean, I guess, but I have my arm on it.
It's all that prednisone you took. It's just shocking through your body.
Phew. No, I think it's the table, but anyway, I'm sorry.
Are you used
No.
to table shaking?
I'm sorry.
She's just so excited to be on the show finally that she's just buzzing. It's just
Busting to the high
adrenaline.
rate.
That's what it is.
That's
That's
what it
what
is. Sorry, back to you, Woody.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Woody, you were telling us about how you get excited.
Yes, please.
I don't remember that. I was just saying size and technique. I think I was waiting for you to say something clever, and then
Oh, you took out the wrong
waiting
dude.
a long time, brother. I don't know. He says some things that are clever.
I want to lick this.
You need
it's hypoallergenic.
that's got to be a drop.
That's going to be a drop. All right.
What, his silence or I want to lick this?
I want to lick
Both.
this. Both.
Have you ever seen him so quiet?
The pause.
He was like, what the fuck?
He's not heard those words a lot.
This is more fun than I've had in years.
That's Brendan. That's Brendan.
He also wanted the show to have a point,
He
which
did. He did. It was so frustrating listening to that when
Yeah, no, David, we can't.
No.
because he was so frustrated.
God, he was so frustrated.
He was trying to wrangle you guys. It was really funny.
Yeah,
David
well,
or-
Brendan had his own podcast, and that was like he was so.
He didn't last a year.
No,
It only lasted one episode.
he only last. Well, the duo.
See, there are two people that couldn't stay in the same room for more than one episode.
Well, he does. That's just it. Is the other guy ghosted him and like
He said it was his good friend
his
for
good
years.
friend for years, and just never spoke to him again.
I
even
have to
this
say
day.
that's kind of what I thought might happen here.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had a thought of like, you know what? Fuck James. I don't think. I mean, it was fleeting, but it has crossed my head. Yeah, don't look at him.
And need help.
you
Get
threaten to kill
get
him
that
every
pillow out.
time I see you. You're just like, I just want to be there when you die. I don't.
You're the one who had the worst idea ever. So
let's face it. That
skim over
idea is a
that.
great fucking idea where you can time travel and watch people fucking die. That's
Over
no,
and
I didn't
over and
like
over.
that. I did
Yeah.
not like that. That really bothered me, Woody.
It's kind of negative.
I know. I can't believe it came out. Like it's just.
I know.
No, it came out pretty easily. That flowed. That was one you've been working on.
He's a problem solver.
I am, yeah, and
builds bridges and solves people's deaths.
Ooh. I don't think he
True
solved
crime.
it. I don't think he solved it. I think it's more for him.
Well, if we take the angle of true crime on this podcast, we will go through the roof in views because that's the new shit.
Remember, we're not whores for the clicks.
Right, we're on horse for the clicks.
You're a whore.
the big problem is that would be a point, and I really like the idea that we just get here and just say stupid stuff for 30 minutes, and
I do have a discussion. You would have loved this. Last night, this guy was trying to wrangle Prime to come on the podcast.
I got a maybe out of him.
And he's-
you told me he was coming on.
Well, I said maybe.
You did not.
Let me.
Oh well, I fucking lied then.
You said, guess who's coming on the podcast? And so now I hear it's a maybe, which makes a lot more sense.
I have a quote here. This is direct
Lot
from the
more
source. When he told me that, I said, "Oh my God, that would be the best," because it would be. It's been our experience that people who have dry, straight, deadpan humor, we just feed off of them so much. And he's like, I don't know, he's the
Epitome of that.
the epitome. Yes, I was going to say the Kilimanjaro of that, but his response was not just maybe, but maybe in the maybeest sense of maybe, which I thought was one of the best lines I've ever heard. Maybe in the maybeest
Prime.
sense.
Yeah, that's funny. Why'd you say yes when it was really a maybeest in the maybeest
Because
sense of maybe?
I remember you coming in around 11:30 last night, and this is what you remember.
Yes. Because I was like, are you sure? Because that sounds really out of character.
Instead of maybe about Prime coming on the show. I never really knew that about you, I would have to say.
What
Or maybe
the
I
fuck
did.
are you saying?
About
your lack
your-
of ability to speak, and then like why you just say that like, oh, Prime's definitely coming when it was a
Right.
maybe, not just a maybe, the most maybe of all maybes ever.
Correct. Maybe in the maybeest sense.
Yes.
Oh, why did I
he's
choose
even got
that
it.
he is
He's
coming?
even got it
Yes.
on the calendar. He's got it as May 26th.
25th.
So okay.
Why do you have May 20th?
That was the day that he agreed to, maybe.
Yeah,
Did he?
see?
Maybe.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
I'll bet he doesn't have a date in his calendar.
No, I mean, he's
No.
probably forgotten about it.
No.
But I'll remind him.
No. And see, there lies the problem.
But
Right.
I was there also, and
Yeah,
I
Woody
was
was
there.
there.
I
Woody
was
was
there
there.
for the whole and he definitely didn't say I'm going to be on this show.
Right.
But for Prime, there was humor and there was a fair amount of engagement that I could interpret as I'm taking this seriously.
Yep. Good. Great. No, I think it's a great idea. I really want him to come on
I thought it was the appropriate time to ask.
to characterize it.
Is this
as,
talking about the podcast on the podcast?
No, we're talking about people being on the podcast on the podcast.
I'm specifically talking about.
Normally,
Prime.
when we talk about the podcast on the podcast, we talk about the real technical details of the podcast, which is
Yeah.
boring as fuck.
Right.
Well, thank you for taking us down that path.
And I think Schwa is correct, and I endeavor to cut that shit out whenever we talk about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, if this does stay in, honestly, Prime, I think I would be excited to have him on here. I think he would be great.
I'm excited to have Odessa on here.
Indeed. Indeed.
It's been a long time coming.
But the great thing about Odessa finally being on here is she's been like 10 feet away the whole time. So, it's just.
Yeah, it's just in another room of this
10
building that we record in.
10 feet away? I
And
guess.
this from the only engineer in the house.
Yeah, if you're downstairs underneath this.
Yeah, I guess so.
I thought you meant in the bedroom next door.
I've heard it's funny, you can't really hear a lot outside of here.
Oh, it's just due to all the soundproofing we put into this room.
Yeah.
Have you? You should.
You can't. I had no idea you guys were up here sometimes.
Mm.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I know, which is really surprising. So I didn't know
Because you
if it
can
was
really hear us
bad.
downstairs.
Oh, it carries. And I was like, every time I couldn't hear you, I was like, oh, it must be going bad. It must be bad.
That's a not funny part.
They must not be connecting at all. This one's gonna be bad.
This one's not going to get any views.
So, but that must not be true because that would have been a lot of them.
Yeah, you always say you aren't going to get any
Did you
views,
say
and
that
every
would've been a
episode's
lot
got
of-
like 20 views, maybe 30. I almost need a string to tie around the back of my head so I can just be stuck here.
I like Woody's idea. We'd get not just a string, but like almost a helmet.
You
that
could
locks
get
your-
the helmet string thing that they put on the Vision Pro for Apple. That new device that none of you know what I'm talking about. Well, maybe
No,
Woody
that's
knows.
it's what do you call it? It's a virtual reality.
Yeah,
headset.
but it's the way they designed it. People found it extremely uncomfortable.
we need to do that.
Well done, Odessa.
This is not
That's
a
a big touch screen, huh? We went all out for the touchscreen TV that doesn't work.
But Classic Fruit
I really
Company,
like
they were
that.
5 years later than everybody else with a headset, and then they charged 10 times as much.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. The great thing about the TVs,
I feel like I'm in an airport with that.
Yeah, that's gonna have the flights on it here in a minute if the internet works. So,
have you told
What the
anybody
fuck?
the story of the TVs?
what story of the TVs? What are you talking about? There it goes.
James,
Oh, how we got this wonderful TV?
yes, and how I got mine.
Yeah, your TV is my old TV,
Right,
and my TV on the wall is your old TV.
right.
It would have
because-
made more sense just to hang my old TV and leave your old TV at your apartment.
Indeed. James, the optimizer. I don't know if you've ever noticed, he likes to optimize things.
Yes. Yes.
There it is. Look now. Look. See how it has this uncomfortable band that goes around your head?
Sure. It looks
That's what we need for the podcast.
good for playing tennis, maybe.
He does. Is that what it is? Is it optimizing?
Well, that's the nice way to put it. Some might
If I
say
do this, can you hear it on the?
Yeah, but I cut it out.
I kind of want to make you work.
you know what he
harder.
really likes is
Thanks, Odessa. I appreciate that.
Now you see the happily part.
I've learned that truly is him, and all of the negativity associated with him that I think is coming from me. The vast majority of the negativity I associate with him is coming from me. Some of it's coming from him.
Oh no! Don't be
But-
fooled. No, he comes with his own negativity.
I
But,
come with a box of negativity. There's a little suitcase I carry around.
He gave me his old computer when he got a new one, and he said, "You really need to upgrade your TV. Let me give you this one." Then we set up the studio, Fairly Harmless Studios, here in
Downtown
Oklahoma.
Burbank.
Downtown Burbank.
Downtown Burbank.
Burbank area. That's right.
And he says, we probably need to get a TV. And I said, good news. I fucking got one. Let's not fucking waste any more money. Invest any more money in things we don't need to. So
That's what this all is an investment.
I like
mean,
that invest word. It makes it seem like it's smart.
I find it as a way to occupy my husband's time without me.
I just want you to know that I'm trying to put some brakes on unnecessary spending.
Okay, way to go.
Way to bring the room down.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really sad.
Yeah, that's kind of a little long.
That's what she said.
She didn't,
never-
James.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
didn't.
Never heard that.
She never
I
said
don't know
this.
who you run into,
Okay.
but she didn't.
Some of your exes, and they've all said it could be a little longer.
Nah,
I've heard please leave.
please leave. Before, never
I'm
mind.
calling the police now.
That's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah, that was the original was the best.
So I do have a funny story. Just it's probably not going to be that funny, but here we go.
All right, here it goes.
Talking about optimizing. It's the other night at dinner with Prime. So the poor guy asks James. He's asked him a question, and then he immediately, you could just see he
regretted it.
immediately
He
regretted
regretted it as soon as the words left his lips. He was like, "Why did I do that?"
He did. And if James Oliver let me tell the story,
I don't ever let people do that.
um,
Actually, on review of other podcast episodes, I think to myself, "Damn it, James, why didn't you shut up and let him tell the
you
story?"
can practice now.
Okay.
She's gonna break out the smothering pillow. Let me help you. Shut the
No.
fuck up.
Not for us.
James, there's 3 people in
Please.
this room that want to watch you have a pillow over your face right now.
That's right.
He
Please,
is
Odessa.
never gonna ask me to do this again.
No,
No, but we're rather enjoying this.
I'm gonna ask you to come back next week.
Hey,
Please,
can we get
Odessa.
another chair in here? A permanent fixture chair.
No.
I really want to hear this story.
Oh no! Just immediately, he asked him about what he said. James, I don't, something
He asked
computer.
about what kind of MacBook
kind of-
Air he could buy.
See, he's still talking.
And
Please continue, James.
All right, what he asked
Dude,
about this
dude.
MacBook Air.
that was a joke.
I know.
And James got out his phone and got quiet and just was like, "Well," blah, blah, blah. And then you could just see him just like, "Oh fuck, I forgot what this is like." And he was like, "Well, what you could do? Have you ever thought about? Would you like a?" And he was like, "Never mind. I already know. Never mind. I forgot. Never mind." I mean, he was backpedaling so fast, and James just kept. And really, if he could have said, "Shut the fuck up,"
You
he
can.
would've.
He
Prime
can.
didn't.
Prime, yeah.
Prime has manners. He's a good person.
Yeah,
He
and
does.
He really didn't want to hurt James's feeling, but he really wanted him to just stop talking. Just
How long did it take?
15 minutes later, when no one's talking and he's still talking about computers, it was.
I'm not sure you got the message, James. You're still selling that
just-
MacBook Air.
He
I
just-
am. I
he
was
just
hoping that
ate.
Prime was going to bring it up the next time last night.
And he won't.
I was hoping he'd bring it up last night.
That's James's shades of reality.
Have you
Well-
considered having a supercomputer wired into your brain directly?
He was like, no, I'm gonna get my own computer. Nope.
It's only $7,000.
And that's
Prime would like that. A supercomputer straight in the brain,
Yeah.
I think.
As long
Maybe
as it-
Apple could design that. Maybe that's
but,
where they're going.
But not
As long
if
as it
James was
hurt.
telling him about.
right.
Poor Prime. He has so we were eating sushi one time, and I always get the same thing when I go to restaurants. I'm just annoying. It's like I go and I get the same exact menu every single
Does
time.
it drive him insane?
Then I sit there and I look at the menu for like 20 minutes, like I'm going to do something different. And then I always get the same thing. But this time it gets even better. I sat there and I asked his advice on what I should get. And I told him my seafood woes and all the different things.
Oh shit! And then he gave
we
his
had this
opinion. And
great
then,
big thing.
yes.
And then I ordered the same thing anyway. He was like, fuck you. Don't ever ask me for anything again.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, it's just me. I'm just annoying. That's just me. Like,
Well, maybe Woody was trying to make some pleasant conversation, much like I was about that MacBook Air.
There was no
That was
conversation going on
pleasant
there.
Conversation.
I was
That was.
thinking
Let me
about
tell you
ordering
everything
something
I know.
different.
Go fuck yourself.
Hmm.
The best old movie ever, the 1984 Dune.
Best movie. Right up there with the first Battlestar Galactica series.
That's not true.
I remember what I was going to say. The other
Yes,
one was
please.
when you were talking about all the views on whatever this thing is, and
Your little pet project.
Whatever.
Your little-
There's,
whatever
there's
this
little
fucking
thing that you-
branding all over this fucking room. He's wearing a goddamn shirt. There's a fucking sticker on the
Whatever.
laptop. And you're
Whatever.
like, where the fuck am I?
Give me a stab. I'm going to put it on my head. My forehead. Please. This little game that you guys do.
This
Okay.
whole thing you do when you were at the facility the other day, and you were talking about your little pet project and the name Fairly Harmless. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, I've heard of it. And you were like, no.
Yeah, I wanted to fucking tell that guy, you're so full of shit, man.
That was this
He's
guy
like-
trying to be all cool. Like,
he's
oh,
like,
yeah, I've heard of
that
it.
one.
He's like,
I'm like,
you haven't.
how the fuck did you do that?
You haven't.
I got friends that have never heard of this.
He searched for sad middle-aged men talking in their bedroom.
Well, Woody,
That is gold.
that's probably our tagline right there.
No, that's our built-in bullshit test. If you've heard of
If you've heard of us, you're full of shit.
full of shit,
Yeah. I just found that extremely funny. And you were like,
great.
no.
No, I immediately decided I'd put
Not-
that person
but that-
in the bullshit
But
category
that
for
was
the rest of my
like
life.
your first wasn't like, oh my gosh, really? It was
You're
no,
full of shit, man.
No.
That's great. Thank you,
You've-
Odessa.
You've
Great stuff.
never heard of this.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been on their show.
Yeah. Right.
Funny,
That
I've
would've
never
been
met
great.
you before.
So it let me know that you were still in reality with this.
Oh yeah. I'm almost 100% in reality with
I
this.
don't know about that. That's not totally true, Odessa. Here's something, I don't know. I think this could be an important thing for us to discuss. When the characters in Star Trek teleport,
Oh God.
this is right up our alley, Odessa. It's exactly. If you've got a problem
And
with
you
this,
wonder why it's been a year.
No, I just love your
what?
reactions. Oh God.
A year since what, Odessa?
I can save that for when he comes. So you know what? Maybe I'll just save that for when he comes.
No, I want to hear about the trick.
Wait, you were talking about Star Wars.
Woody, get out.
I'm starting to think this is more for your own entertainment, this podcast, than
That's
for
what
anybody
you
else.
told us it was for. Remember?
Your own
Remember how this
entertainment?
all started?
Well, I meant like the craft. I didn't realize. No, the actual stories are for your own
Let me be
entertainment.
clear. Did you say craft?
Craft, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're
I
learning a
thought you
craft.
said crap.
That's what I thought. Crap.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that. I've seen the work that you two put in and how much it's. This is not easy.
I remember.
You know who's going to appreciate us talking about the podcast on the podcast?
Schwa. He hates that.
He hates when we talk about the podcast on itself.
Well,
He's got a good point.
I'm
though.
talking about it,
Okay,
That's true.
That's right. That's
and
right.
I
it
can
does.
do that.
That's right.
We could talk about Schwa. We could talk about the podcast. I mean, I'm just.
We could talk about Schwa on the podcast.
We should talk about the critical role that you played in the.
You are like
You were the
freaking
catalyst.
catalyst of
Yeah.
this whole thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember the moment he and I were having a
Moment.
discussion. It
A
was
fleeting moment.
a terrible. I won't go into exactly.
We were in the parlor.
We were in the parlor and we're having a discussion about something that was happening on the television, and we had terrible
Terrible things to say about it.
terrible things to say about it. And you just walked through
On your
Just
way to
non-
the on the way to the game room.
nonchalantly and said, "You two are going to hell." And you were right. You were absolutely right. And I felt a little
How
bad.
am I the catalyst for this?
Well,
I felt a
then
little
you
bad in
said
the
to
moment.
him- you said to me after she said that, we should do a podcast.
So that she doesn't have to hear it. Yet guess what?
I don't
Now it's recorded for all of time and I have to listen to it.
think it's
So
exactly-
thanks.
You said that to me.
I think some more discussion happened about another podcast idea you had.
Oh,
And then it's possible I said you and I should do a podcast.
the discussion.
But it
of-
was inspired. That's what it was. It was inspired by your comment of "you're going to hell," which I interpreted as you two are good together.
you guys make a good pair.
Yeah, so some
Says
people
a
wouldn't.
lot about your marriage.
Wait, we're
Right.
married now?
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I have a lot to lose here.
Do you?
So, yeah. I got.
Please do explain.
We got to keep these two together so I can have some time.
Oh yes. If unfortunately, if this falls apart, then
I'm gonna
Odessa's
have to
gonna
spend
have
a
to
lot
entertain
of
me.
time.
Entertain me between the hours of 2 and 4 on Saturday.
Yes.
Their relationship has never been better since he and I started this dumb
Fucking
podcast.
straight. You gonna go
You know
do
what's
your
funny
little
though?
thing?
You know what's funny about this is that I remember when I first started repping the podcast, certain people, Odessa included, were not a fan.
No.
Well, no,
I
because
can-
you were. It was in the middle. No, because first you're not good at it.
She said with love.
She said with love.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like,
You try really hard.
yeah,
Pay for effort.
I was going to say A for effort. Please.
yeah. It was just uncomfortable.
That's how I am. That's how I'm uncomfortable in all situations.
But that's not true. That's not true.
Okay.
You like to think that, and then you can like.
Oh, it gives you carte blanche to do your
Yes,
shit.
yes.
Carte blanche. Is that like
Permission.
permission?
I do have this comment here about Fairly Harmless is the Thinking Person's podcast.
Why?
It's a break. It's a break.
It's not the thinking person's podcast. It's the
No,
opposite.
no. I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying. 'Cause
Yeah, I understand it too.
Why?
because he's a thinking man.
You got the brains over there, Woody?
That's
No,
right.
because usually
Woody.
I think, and then when I listen to the podcast, I can
you
stop.
don't
I
think.
don't.
You don't think.
Right.
I can
'Cause
shut
this
down
is-
for 20 minutes.
Because this is
Right.
like what goes on in your brain, kinda.
Squirrel.
My brain?
I think anybody's brain
I don't
just
know
kind of
about
has.
your brain. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any.
No, there's a pattern.
representation. Is
No,
there?
there's a. Oh yeah,
Alice in Wonderland?
there's
Oh.
a pattern
What kind of pattern is it, Odessa?
in your brain.
Yes.
Well, I like what he said earlier about optimizing. How can I fuck this up? How can I?
We need a banner that says that across the top.
How can I fuck this
How
up?
can I fuck this up? That's
But
what I
That's a
think.
great.
That's what I think about every day before I go into work. How am I going to fuck this up?
But it usually requires a box of chords.
Box of chords. That's right. I forgot you had
Yes.
this thing.
Oh,
He's got a
oh no,
few-
not just one.
He's
Those
got
are
a
just
couple
one.
of chords.
There's just
Couple?
a few. Those are the chords you can see. There's a whole closet. full of
Oh, I
chords.
know.
You
You
have
know
a
how you-
cord, and it was useful
me-
at one point in time, and you can't ever find it again when you need it. So you're really scared to throw them away because Apple keeps changing their fucking cords
But you're
every
not.
5
If
years.
it's an Apple cord, you're not going to need it again. You can't. You can't use it again. Just throw it away.
How much?
There's a big box of chords in the garage.
Yes, I know.
I
I'm
went
aware.
looking through it yesterday for a chord I couldn't
Could
find.
you use anything in it?
No.
No. Is it still there?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Would you like me to take it along when I leave
Yes.
this afternoon?
Yes.
What are you going to do with it?
Throw it away.
Well, there's chords in there, man.
Well, thank you for being on Fairly Harmless. I'm Andrew.
I'm James.
I'm Woody.
I'm still Odessa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Remember to click that bell.
Here's the real honest answer. If you like what we're saying, please listen. If you don't, try something else. Definitely don't hit the notification button. That shit drives me insane. I love you.
Don't notify me of shit.
Thanks. I don't have it turned on my own phone, and I'm doing the fucking show because it drives me insane.
You don't want to be notified when the podcast drops?
That's
I
what
know.
I've got friends for.
Exactly.
They're like, we've got a new episode out. Listen to it, asshole.
Once again, this has been Fairly Harmless. Missing the point on. Wait, what's the point? Fairly Harmless is available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, and Pocket Casts. Our musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Their music is available for streaming and purchase on most media platforms. For Fairly Harmless, this has been your announcer, Fast Eddie. See you soon.